It is 1416, and life and death are conversing in a tavern. Though this seems like a very human thing to do for entities such as themselves, the brother and sister enjoy catching up every half-century or so.
Hey bro, how's life?
Sister, you've made this joke for millennia. It still isn't funny.
Oh come on, it's sort of funny, you have to admit.
If you say so. So then, how have things been?
Quite interesting actually. About 50 years ago I had this interesting conversation with someone in France. He was fighting in this war that's going on, and on this battlefield he corners an Englishman. Instead of killing him, he strikes up a conversation, and the two of them just talk.
Is that so?
I know. Unfortunately, they were both killed moments later, but now they're great friends.
A rare commodity on the field of battle indeed.
Oh, and there was this little girl who died of the plague a few decades ago. She was a real cutie. Asked me if I was an angel.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Done anything interesting since we last met?
Yes. Well, I influenced some humans to create a tower in Italy, though it will begin to lean in a few hundred years, which will...
No! Not about work. What have you been doing in your off time?
Off time?
Brother, please tell me you still haven't conversed with a human.
Of course I haven't. What possible reason would I have to do that?
Life, you can't keep doing this.
You forget, I have a job to do, creating everything that is or will be.
And my job is to be there when it finishes. Take them to the other side until there's nothing left to take. But that doesn't stop me from enjoying myself.
Sister, I appreciate the concern, but I'm fine. Besides, I don't need to talk to them. What can I possibly find interesting?
You'd be surprised. They're curious creatures.
I know, I created them.
Honestly, I bet you'd enjoy talking to one.
There's nothing I can learn, nor is there anything in their small and insignificant lives that would pique my intrigue.
At least listen to a few of them.
Listen, lads, I recently thought of something.
Oh, this could be good.
Another wild theory by Rolf Goddard. Go ahead.
I mean, you mock me, but you haven't heard it. It's quite simple, actually. Why is it we die?
It is the way of things, Rolf. If we escape war, famine, and disease, then past 30 years is what a man gets. Maybe 60 if God is willing.
See, that's the thing. No one has to die.
Of course we do, you drunk fool. It's the natural order of things.
Not at all. I don't want to die. Why should I? You all just go along with it, whereas I want nothing to do with it. A few decades is all we get? I say no. There's simply too much to do and too much to see. What's it good for, anyway?
Everyone dies, Goddard, and when they do, we get put into the ground and sent to be judged.
You lot may be expected to die, but I'm not. I simply have decided I don't want to. And if I don't, who will be laughing then, eh?
See, brother?
I will admit, it is perhaps an interesting thought.
It is. Though I bet that long a life would drive that man mad.
I disagree. A chance to experience more than what has been dealt would make them a better individual, at least by human standards.
How would you know? You don't talk to them. I do.
You know why, I created them. You think I would know how they work?
You want to bet?
Yes, sister, I would.
Would you like the honours then?
Yes, I would.
Is that so?
I said it is an interesting thought, so I will see it through. Excuse me, sir. Did I overhear you say you don't wish to die?
No, I did. It's a most game, and so I won't have part in it.
In that case, you must tell me what it's like. Let us meet here again in this place. In 100 years.
Oh, he has you there, Rolf.
100 years? He's calling your bluff there.
Do not mind these two, thicker than bread they are. 100 years on this day, aye, we shall meet in the next century of our Lord.
Indeed.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't think you'd turn up.
I have, and here I am.
What manner of man are you then? A wizard? A witch? A demon?
I'm merely interested.
You clearly aren't human, so what are you?
You haven't died, I see.
Ha! No, I haven't. With much surprise, I might add.
And what have you done with your time?
Well, I spent a few years fighting in that blasted war with the French, to then fight in another war between the houses of York and Lancaster. I fought for both sides and even got knighted.
Most impressive.
My thanks, I now have a sizable amount of coin for myself along with land.
So you don't wish to die then?
Of course not! There's still much to do. I hear that a man has recently discovered a new landmass to the west. I might visit there at some point soon.
Yes, what will you people think of next?
Hopefully something to keep out the fleas with any luck.
So then, another 100 years?
Oh, yes. Aha, good day, sir.
Good evening, Rolf.
Rolf! Ah, my word, that takes me back. It's Sir William Ashton now, old stranger.
You've had good fortune then, I take it.
Why, yes, the gods have smiled on me and this glorious country. As I said when we last met, I went over to the new land they call America and established a minor trading business with a man there. I've had to travel around a bit to avoid suspicion, however. Went north and came back claiming to be my own son. I've done that twice now. Ah, yes, some food. Venison pasty? No. They're good. Oh, and another thing here. A portrait of my wife and little baby son. He's the first son I've had in a few hundred years.
I see.
It's funny. Decades ago, this is what I dreamed heaven was like. This food, for example, I'd have killed for white bread before now. Come to think of it, I may have.
So, you're happy. Do you wish to die now?
Goodness no. Even at the status I am now, there's only to go but up. Who knows, the next time you see me, I could be king. Unhand me, you swine! This place is for decent folk and not gutter filth like you. I am more entitled to be here more than you are.
This man is with me, gentlemen. You may unhand him.
I knew you'd be here. Do you know what it's like? Starving to death without dying? My wife, she died a few years later in childbirth, and my son was killed in a bar fight. I can't remember what she looks like. I had to sell all of her portraits. The town tried to kill me for being a witch. I got overconfident, out of my skin, and it kept getting worse. The final straw was when I fought for the king in this civil war. Big mistake. I've hated it, every last second of these last 76 years.
And yet, do you seek the respite of death? Do you still wish to live?
Nah. Death's a mug's game. I've still got so much to live for. It's a living, wonderful system, really. We take English goods to Africa, where we pick up slaves. From there, we take it to America and trade for tobacco, sugar, and raw cotton.
Do you take pride in treating fellow humans as less than animals?
Like I said, it's a living. Though I have a feeling it won't last too long. What with the colonies and then France, our country will be next to experience a revolution. Though this time, at the first time of trouble, I'll be out, not risking it like last time.
Your spirits have much improved compared to our last encounter, Sir Ashton.
Ah, I've changed my name again recently. In an attempt to avoid suspicion. It's Edward Hawley now.
As you say.
You know, we've been meeting for 400 years now, and I still have no clue who you are and what you're doing here. What manner of man are you, and what is your name?
I've had many names, but if I had one, I would tell you. And as for why I'm here, I'm settling a bet with my sister.
You have a sister? What is the bet then?
We had opposite opinions on whether or not living for as long as you have would drive you mad.
You're saying my life is an experiment to you?
If that is what you wish to view it as.
I need to think on this. It is a lot to find out that your life is but a game.
Of course. Though one more thing, Edward. It is a poor thing to enslave another. I suggest you find another line of business.
Good evening.
Evening, Edward. I must admit I'm surprised to see you here, considering your distaste after our last meeting.
Yes. Well, I've had ample time to think on it. I think there's more to why we meet. You're not here to see what happens to a man like me. You both most likely know what happens already, though I doubt I'm any wiser. I've learnt from mistakes, but have had more time to make them. You were right about the slave trade. I can't take back what I've done. You've seen all of this, but you knew from the start what kind of person I'd become. I think you're here for another reason.
And what could that be then?
Friendship. I believe you're lonely.
You dare? You imply that I'm in need of companionship, that mankind have the need to befriend a mortal.
I do. Listen, I'll be here in 100 years, and if you're here, it won't be because of some bet. It'll be because we're friends, right? Right? I didn't think you'd show up, if I'm honest.
Well, I've heard it is impolite to leave one's friends waiting. Would you like a drink?
Meanwhile, in the realm beyond the living, Death smiles, satisfied with the bet she has won.